All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the very special episode of our Blue Crowbar Award show here. You all on this call right now are best in show for the Crowbar Awards. We do this once every single quarter. A new guest judge, somebody that's super well known, some of the best in the industry, and of course, Andrés Ordóñez is the global CCO at FCB here. Judge this award show, and we have the winners. So big round of applause to you all. Nicely done. Now, I want to make sure this time is for you all. I'm here to moderate, but I think a couple intros are necessary. AO, we'll start with you, you need no introduction, but meet the best in show winners here. Why don't you say hello, explain who you are.
Hello, everyone. Congratulations. Great to see the three of you, and thank you for the work and the love behind it. Well, Geno said it. I am the global CCO at FCB, well, from FCB Chicago, but a global CCO for FCB. And it's so great to be in here. And it was a hard task, I think. A lot of submissions and a lot of work to go through, but there's always one that rises from the top, and it was you guys. So happy to meet you and to go into it and talk a little bit about how you guys got to this area, these thoughts, and what was the thinking process and everything in between.
Heck yeah. Thanks, AO. Yeah, a lot of submissions is right. And we'll get into why you picked them in a bit here. But who wants to kick us off? I'm looking at Ella. You are the first on my screen here. Explain who you are, where you're at in your life, what was your focus, what's your discipline within this campaign group?
Yeah, I gotcha. Hi, I'm Ella, and I'm currently in the cold San Francisco right now, interning at Goodby Silverstein and Partners. And I'm a student at Chapel Hill, I'm rising senior. So this next year, I'm also going to be the managing creative director at my student-run ad agency. And I would love to be a copywriter.
Nice.
You already are a copywriter. You know that, right?
Then I'm going to be a copywriter, or I am a copywriter.
You are a copywriter.
Love that. And you're at Goodby, great agency internship. I want to talk with you on the side how you got that. That's really cool stuff. Love Chapel Hill. Maya True, you are up next.
Hi, I'm Maya True. I am a upcoming third year at UNC Chapel Hill studying media and journalism. I'm definitely more in the journalism track. This was my first media campaign. Had such a good time making this. I do photography, videography, and I'm currently based in Croatia right now, visiting my family before I take off to the Galapagos next month to do a documentary down there this summer.
Very cool. Thank you. Ayo, that's her first campaign. So this is your first campaign you've ever worked on, and you won Best in Show.
Yeah, I feel really honored. I feel Ella kind of has been like the leader of this project, making things happen, and so I feel really honored that she invited me on.
Incredible. Well, congrats to you. And Shamil, how about you, sir?
Hi, my name is Shamil Luqman. I'm actually a recent graduate from the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill, and I was the principal art director, designer on this project. I actually originally started off as an engineer, like a mechanical engineer at North Carolina State, and then I transitioned to advertising because I just liked getting to work with my hands on storytelling more than I did pipetting beakers into like a test tube or something. So yeah, I'm aspiring to be an art director in the future.
Incredible.
Very nice.
From engineering.
I'm an art director, Shamil. So.
Already an art director. Never mind.
That's my background.
Incredible. Well, congrats to you all. What do you say we pick apart the brief, because we gave this out 3 months ago, a little over 3 months ago, to the whole entire world of aspiring advertising professionals, and it's all about Ohio here. But AO, you want to run through what was the ask, what's the brand here, because you were part of creating this brief as well. What do you say we dive into that?
Yeah, I think it was like I said at the beginning, it was a complex brief, because I feel that the biggest challenge that we had on this one It was selling Ohio as a destination, but not just a destination. More than that, instead of being a pass through, somewhere that you can see yourself living at. So we needed to shift that perception from like a flyover to a first choice kind of city or
Mhm.
place. Then the audience, it was millennials and Gen Z, remote workers, young families, and people that were looking for like that career growth, but at the same time a mix of culture and balance, like a little bit of that work-life balance that everyone's looking for. One of the beauties about it, and it was great to see it, and the work that you guys did obviously showed very clear. It was the whole opportunity of these that in Ohio, lower cost of living, thriving job marketing, tech, healthcare, and startups, big city culture, outdoor adventure, and a little bit of not the stress that kind of people see on bigger cities. So it's also a good place for remote work friendly and really good quality of life. So when you put them all together, it feels that it was really, really nice place to start shifting that conversation. So
Yeah.
the insight that we got into that one, it was that work and play are no longer separate because Ohio offers both without the compromise. And I think there was something really interesting about that. So as a message, it was the whole idea around Ohio is where you can grow your career, live, and actually enjoy life. So we were looking for like first person stories, bold visuals, like, real experiences, like really show me how we can express this without feeling like it was just another welcome to X town or welcome to this other place, because we will just be on the same sea of sameness of the category. So the CTA for the was the idea of make Ohio the go for living, working, and exploring, and not just the backup as a plan. So really focus like switching that thing or that behavior and that thinking that we have for Ohio into, wow, I never thought of it like a place where I can call home.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I feel that living in New York, I feel like it's all work, not a lot of play, like to make it here. I'm sure
There's
you
always
feel that.
Ohio. There's always Ohio, Gino.
I know. I'm like, this is speaking directly to me, like on that Gen Z to millennial. I'm sure a lot of our listeners too. And AO, I'm sure you feel it too, living in Chicago. I live there too. It's difficult there sometimes as well. So this was a really fun, tough brief here. I want to know, how do you all react to this? You see the brief, who from this team first saw this and who was like, let's get this dream team together? What did you see? How did you digest the brief and how do you react to it from there?
Yeah, absolutely. I can talk about this. So I saw the brief. I think I've done like a crowbar before, just by myself, and I found it kind of really difficult to just bounce off my own ideas. And so I like messaged a few people and like, anyone want to do this with me? Like I have some ideas that we could go off of. And Shamil was the one who was like, yeah, I'm really interested. I want to do it. Um, I knew that he was a really talented designer and art director, so I was like, yes, absolutely. And I think I just ran into Maya one day and I was like, hey, like, what are you doing? What you up to? And then I was like, hey, like, I'm working on a campaign. Do you want to do it too? Because I knew that she was also a very talented videographer and director. And I was like, it would be awesome to actually make something out of this and make a video. So I kind of just was like, okay, guys, let's do a little FaceTime tomorrow and talk about it. So it really just started with that. And I knew right off the bat that these people were great to work with.
Love that. Love that. So then from there, how do you approach this? So you have 3 months uh, to complete this campaign. What type of research are you going into this? Are you meeting up in person? What's your kind of like what's your technique on this? And what was like the big insight that you all came up with for the big idea? Like how do you get to it?
Yeah, I could totally talk about that. We met online a lot. I had never met Shamil in person, actually. I was on a project right after my school had ended, so I didn't get a chance to like meet everyone, but I have been great friends with Ella since freshman year. We had our first marketing class together. We sat next to each other and we've just like been friends ever since. And so when she put me in contact with Shamil, I was like, I know this is going to be the most awesome team ever. And in terms of research, it was a lot of Google Meets, a lot of like talking about, what we think about Ohio, what we know about Ohio. A lot of that was like currently the the media circulating around it, the memes, the Gen Z brain rot kind of memes that are going around, and we were like, okay, well, where else can we go from here? Like, it can't just all be like pictures of like the apocalypse saying like normal day in Ohio, like people can't have anything in Ohio. And so we tried to get creative with the things that we liked, our music tastes, our media that we consume, and how it relates back to Ohio. So we were talking about the Green Brothers for a while, and they are big names that still stay in Ohio. Like they still love being associated with it and having that be part of their home. Kid Cudi, Machine Gun Kelly were very relevant figures. And we're also just we're some goofy guys, so it was only natural that we added a funny element to it, that we were kind of humorous and brought a lightheartedness that would keep our audience engaged, especially because we know as like content consumers that we have a short attention span. So yeah.
Got it. Ao, is that how your teams work at FCB? How would you brief your teams to handle this stuff, to start this campaign?
You ask me for the secret sauce?
Oh yeah.
I think we all do it differently. I think one thing that I try to ask the teams is to remove themselves. Well, I mean, we have strategists and we have all the data and all the understanding, and we have to have a very clear brief before we even go into it. And also it has to be very single-minded versus we want to say this and this and this and this and this, because honestly, there's so much you can do. But then once we're very clear in that brief, we try to get as a team and try to, as weird as it sounds, to be as analog as possible for a little bit. Just pen and paper, and try to come up with as many ideas as possible. So we can look at those before we even go into the computers and start designing or doing anything, because sometimes we get so much time into trying to do an ad or trying to perfect something that honestly, when you see it, you ask yourself, is there truly an idea behind it, or is it just nice for the eyes? So until an idea on a paper, if you get it and it's great, once it gets produced, it's even greater or better. So I try to be a little bit the old school on the analog world and then turning into that. But we try to do that, a little bit of get all the great people together around the problem, try to find solutions as analog as possible. And once we find it, then amplify it and make it great and bring other teams into it. Sometimes one idea, you bring it and you realize in order for this to shine, it needs to be surrounded by other type of people as well with different talents. And then you bring more people to that, and then it shines the way it should shine.
Are you hanging the ideas, the papers on the wall, putting a sticky note, green, it's a go, red, it's dead type, like old school?
Very old school in so many ways. I love that. I like it. Yeah, I write everything. So
yeah. I love that. I think it's good for people to hear, not just the winners here, everybody listening, like go back to that old school method. We have a wall because of that, AO. You mentioned that to me. There's an idea wall in our office that has paper with tape on the wall just to remind us.
Yeah, you know why? Because the problem with decks, and there was one of the lessons from COVID days, is like you go through a deck full of ideas and you go so fast through them or not, and then it's gone. It's a little bit like looking at stories on Instagram. And they're gone. And sometimes having it in front of you and let it sit for a little bit, you might find a nugget of a thing somewhere and be like, what is this? And then that becomes something bigger. So sometimes to let it be there for a little bit, let it breathe, and let it send the right signals might be the answer. So I like it because of that.
I think that's sort of how we went about the visual design for this as well. I think there was a lot of like building up to the big weird idea that came up from like us going through a lot of the strategy and current culture around it and how we could build up to it. Like, truth be told, there was a lot of work that went into making sure that a butter cow walking across a banner was something that was good for our campaign. And I made sure that like whenever we got ideas, like I still use paper as well. Like this is, I think, some of the drafts for like what we were planning for visuals around here. It's very much so that like you take ideas, concepts, and you see which ones tie together, which ones don't, and make little thumbnail sketches that can sort of incorporate the marketing strategy and copy together in a way that makes the art direction pop. So that's sort of what I was doing with my team when they gave me all my research and strategy.
Nice.
I will say that props to both of them. I can be like once I have ideas, I'll pretty scatterbrained and like use multiple tabs in Google Doc, and so like that's my version of writing it down. And so they like we had to just navigate like all these ideas on like Google Docs and like lines of taglines and all these things, just trying to brainstorm together virtually instead of in
Yeah.
person.
I would open Google Docs and there would be like 10 new taglines, 10 new headlines, and a bunch of different content that Ella just made in like 20 minutes or something. I was like, whoa. Very, very productive, creative.
And it was really awesome to have a lot, like what you were saying, a lot of ideas in one place. Not all of them were used, but just to see that it was a safe place where ideas can be shared, and no matter how wacky or quirky that they were thought about and cared about. So that was really cool as well.
Was this your favorite, or was it debating with another one? You had a second one that you were like, oh, which one are we gonna pick?
We had a lot. Some of them were like with the Green Brothers, that was something that I was really interested in pursuing, but we didn't know how to get in contact with the Green Brothers. We really wanted to do an ad with them. But yeah, just in terms of like access was not able to get done. But yeah, we can show you the Google Doc. We can share it with you guys.
It'll be fun.
The hidden gems.
So
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
I want to know, what was the big idea for your campaign? For our listeners that haven't checked, it'll be on the website, crowbarawards.com, but what was the platform? What was the big idea that you guys all came up with where you submit it, AO saw it, picked it best in show? Explain to our listeners.
Yeah, absolutely. So kind of like when we were doing our social hearing, we saw that a lot of people were just saying Ohio is so weird, it's so odd, but like not really saying why it's odd or why it's weird. And so I think our big thing was like, okay, we want to grab people's attention and we want to make them care. So one of those ways was kind of like A, calling them out, and B, just accepting how weird we are. But our big idea is that we wanted to like flip the script from it being considered like a bad weird into like a good weird. Like, yes, it's weird that we have all this great stuff. We have, job opportunities. We have great outdoor scenes, work-life balance is great. Like we wanted to find a way to showcase like the really odd stuff about Ohio that is like the big butter cow, and then also like find a way to highlight the aspects that are considered weird, because weird is different, and it's different to, have good rent and all these job opportunities as well. So
Yeah. I think it was really interesting because a lot of our beginning campaigns, we sort of started with covering over the weird and focusing on the good. And then we more started making it like we became more and more unapologetic about the weird stuff until we got to the point where we were like shoving it in people's faces. I think like Ella and Maya like going back and forth on like a bunch of like the weird stuff started like snowballing into like, what if we just made this the whole deal? And I think it was really cool to see that happen. It was like shedding the fear of the negative parts and making it the bold part of the campaign that I think really helped us push it to this point.
Yeah. I also think giving Ohio a little bit of an attitude and kind of this like confidence of like on like the social media scale of like, responding to kind of the hate comments unapologetically, because like what is it going to do? Like succeed from the United States? Like that's not going to happen. So just being able to like kind of give the state itself like its own personality was really fun to play around with.
Yeah.
Got it. And AO, what did you see? Why pick this one out of all the submissions? What did you like about it? And then obviously what constructive criticism would you have too?
We're online. We're recording this. No, I think a little bit like the same of the process that I tell you that we go internally. I saw every submission and everything, like trying to find the nugget of an idea that I can say, like, there's something sitting here that could be really nice. And that's what I found about weird, because and Maya, you just said it, it creates a personality for Ohio against everyone else, because you just gotta drive around or go from one city to another one, and it's like, welcome to so and so, and the beautiful pictures and the beautiful everything. But when you say like you're proud to be weird, but the weird is so positive, it makes you rethink twice. And I think that's what it is. Even Shamil, thank you for singing on camera. Even
No
that
one
was weird.
No one else
Even
wants
that,
to do this.
but even that, I was like, oh my God, they did this. But it also tells you had a little bit of the personality of it, and that's what I like about it. I feel that you turn a negative into a positive, into an opportunity, and I think that's what it is. I think there's so much we can do with it, but you have a nugget of an idea that could be really, really interesting because it just goes against everything that we think in the category when it comes to travel or cities selling themselves. So yeah, it's weird uptown that you pay 40% less for housing. Yeah, that's weird. And it's great, you know? So little things like that. You can turn any data point to be weird on a positive way, which is, I think you have something there. So that's why.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Thanks.
Yeah.
That means so- yeah.
What, you know, from this all, like, you know, for AO now, like if this was in a final round internal review, if you could talk to this team, if this is at FCB, how would you talk to them to get this to like the closer to a client presentation? Like how can you better this idea, this campaign where it's at right now?
Well, put a bunch of people around it. Yeah, I think, and Gino knows we're obsessed with the craft. We're obsessed with craft and the work. So we start from making sure that every element is perfect, that every tagline, every font, everything is just completely exactly that a visual can convey as much as the narrative. Audio cues, we look for a bunch of things like that. We also look at even the design of the deck needs to feel like the same idea as well. So there's a lot of things that we could do just to. I love to walk into a room where you start you start from the first slide, even when you're going through the strategy, but you still have a look and feel already on the deck. By the time you get to the idea, it's like, yeah, of course. And I feel that could be the next round. It would have been just get into the craft, see how we push the work, how do we push the lines, how do we push the art direction, which is normal. That's the way process works. But I think that will be my next. I would love to. Like I asked Gino, hey, can I have another round? Because then I could just put myself and bring a few people, architects and writers, and be like, hey, put your notes into this deck and let's push the deck and see where it can expand. So that would be maybe the way I would take. So I took it more of I found something here that it's really interesting. Now let's just push the work and elevate the craft. Which, you know what? The hard part is to find the nugget. So thank you.
Yeah,
So I'll leave it to you all to ask questions about the campaign or to AO about breaking into advertising, whatever you guys want. I want to give you this time here and I'll be quiet.
Let's see.
One of the questions that we were curious to know was that if this, Gino was saying, like if this was an idea that you had and you were trying to make into a campaign, what is the nugget that you would run with? Like what would it look like from you and your end? Like how would
you had let me see. You had a line here. I think it was like, we get it, and honestly, we're not here to fix that. But why is it being a weird bad thing in a world where everyone wants to be different? I don't know about the last line, but yeah, like that attitude, that personality of owning it, I think that's where you got me. It will be more of expanding that. So I don't know if that helps Maya. True.
True.
Two names.
Yeah, I feel like for us, like we were like, we could just do something that is, we're showcasing all the great things, but I think it's not going to make people like care. Like I feel like you can't get someone who lives in Chicago, which is such a cool city, or San Francisco, like care about going to a place that might have the same thing. So I feel like it was like that. But I do have a question. I did see that you guys, FCB, won regional network of the year again. I'm sure that can be from some of your leadership skills. And I feel like going into my year, like being in a leadership very different scale than you, kind of like what attributes have you grown into or learned in yourself as being a leader that you find has made FCB be so successful?
Yeah. Well, first, nothing related to me. It's about the people. I always believe that the only way to become regional is because not. I always said this is not a one person show. It's a team effort. I just happen to be insanely blessed to be surrounded by three incredible agencies between Chicago, Canada, and New York. And you see their track, like they hit at different moments. And I think what it tells you, they connect in a way. They always are bringing in a lot of incredible work. There's a Susan Cradle, our former global CCO, she created an incredible community of all of us, and she still does. We're like every time we need to talk to her she's always very present and now doing it at the IPG level. And I think that what it creates is a little bit of like that brotherhood, sisterhood between all of us. So we fight for each other, we help for each other, we push the work. If you look at the things that win, you'll see that many of those have people from other offices. So yes, it could be based in one city, but maybe two or three people are from another city that helped sell the idea or make it better. And what it does is that we're all pushing for FCB as much as we're pushing for our own offices. And I think that changes completely. So we like tell Danilo now, we talk a lot between us. Danilo, my creative partner, and we talk a lot about that we're relentless dreamers. And we never say no. We find something and we go at it until we put it out into the world, and we put our hearts and passion and hours and whatever it takes to do it. And when you have a team around you and working with the same passion and love for ideas, then that's the output. So the one thing that I say, just chase great work, take care of your people, and the output is being regional or being whatever, a Grand Prix, or all things will come. So the focus has to be on your people and the work, and things take care of themselves after that. So,
Okay, I have a question sort of bouncing off of that. I'm talking about managing great people and work. This is probably something you've gotten a lot of questions about already. But it's your Capturing with Intent project that, congratulations for its progress at cons, by the way. I know from my prior research on it that it's a very long-term project that took a lot of data analytics testing and like working with
yeah.
people for an extended period of time. I think it was is it around 6 years? Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So my question, sort of looking at these as somebody who's really interested in database creative projects and stuff involving real life impact like that, is where do you think creativity best applies into like places where data is something that has to always be considered, like in Captions with Intent? Because there's a lot of user testing, a lot of going back and forth with teams to make sure that this even comes to life. But where do you think it's most important to apply like the creative touch to figure out how to best drive this towards like its final goal?
Oof. Yeah. Well, I think we need data every day. I mean, it's there for so many reasons, and it makes, when you have the right data, you can create beautiful things out of it. So you start from that. It's like having all the strategy, the data that is around it. If you really know and you have great minds that like we have at FCB to interpret that into words and into what's possible, then we get to beautiful things. The data as part of the process, it's key. For example, in Caption, we had to, because we were talking about, if you think about Caption, what it does is that it gets in the screen, but it has to be so crafted to not interrupt with the film. But at the same time, it has to do its job to convey the experience that we're trying to do for those who cannot experience audio the same as many of us can. So in order to make sure that worked, we had to test with the hearing society and non-hearing society, with everyone, to understand that we're doing the right balance for everyone. We need to understand that the importance of intonation. So data can dictate how levels work, the design system overall, and how color works. Because if you think about a film, sometimes in a film someone's talking, but you're not seeing them. How do you know when you can't hear them? Who's talking? So there were so many things that we had to take in consideration, and so many groups that we had to go through to understand that we were just doing the exact balance for everyone to enjoy at the same level of film. And that's where data was incredible for us. So we had to make sure that we were like joined at every single step. And we did hundreds of tests, hundreds of fonts, it was crazy. And so many times we failed. We were like, oh my, we went too far. We need more room. They're not feeling the same. So it was very emotional, very rational. And it was key for us to understand what was happening at every single step. I don't know if that helps, but
No, it really did. And again, really amazing campaign. Just like
thank you.
something that I call like a really humanistic thing to do, to put that.
Yeah,
much
also,
work.
and you'll see this in your careers, because I'm sure you will get to have, you should aspire to get to that kind of work. It's when you have a great idea, don't rush into it. Sometimes we rush to put it on a show, but then it's the wrong thing. I think when you have something that's beautiful as this idea that it is, and we still have to keep developing in many ways with the studios, you need to give it the time to craft and understand everything to make sure that the idea gets to the level it should get. And sometimes we see ideas that they come out, that they're like, oh, this is great, and then they disappear because maybe did not have the time to grow up. This one had 6 years, and even the studios told us normally an idea like this will take 10 years. You guys were fast in 6. But we had all the testing and all the approvals and everything to go for it. So if you have an idea, take care of it, because a great idea, it's a beautiful baby to take care of, and just nurture it. And when it's ready, it'll be ready, and you'll know when it's ready.
Thank you. That was super helpful.
What's up?
I just wanted to say, I don't know why I raised my like it's a classroom. I just wanted to say like thank you so much for the feedback and the support, and I know I'm speaking on behalf of the team when your feedback means a lot, and supporting us in our creativity and our quirkiness it means a lot. And my team and I we're very eager to bring our energy and fresh perspective to these kind of cases. And if there's any opportunity for us to like collaborate with FCB, we would love to explore how we can contribute.
Yeah, great.
Like your team.
Thank you. Well, thank you for sure. Gino, I told Gino this. I wanted another round with all of you, and we can do it. We can do it. Maybe I think we can do the second round just internal with you guys and some of the people in my teams to take the deck to the next level and put it, because you should keep thinking about it. Keep evolving this idea that you have, and hopefully put it on your portfolio where you feel like, oh my God, look, from that one shot and one meeting into what it is now in our books. It's a great feeling. So we're here for you guys, and yes, please let me know how we can help, and we'll love to join forces and help you.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
That would be amazing.
And I also kind of just curious for you as well as what do you typically look for in like rising creatives? Like with us, a lot of us graduating next year or already graduated, kind of like how can we, what do you look for in younger creatives now?
I think love and passion for what we do. It's an incredible industry. It's amazing, but you have to really, really love it. You have to be curious. You cannot just be conformist. So I think being curious all the time is amazing. Is what gets you to great work. And understand that when something dies, it's an opportunity for something bigger to be created versus just being stuck into something. So we go through books and portfolios with people, and but the best way to get to know someone is just like we are. And because I believe that you feel the energy and the passion of someone, how much they love this industry and where they see themselves and all that. And when you put all that energy into it, you're going to be great. So I try to surround ourselves with the best people, with the best hearts and the best energy, and it's incredible what that brings, because then everyone wins. You win in many ways. So I got to this industry because of that. I love it. I'm passionate about it. I wake up every day with, oh, what if we do this? What if we do that? I never say no to anything. It's a little bit insane, but it's incredible versus other jobs. So that's what I think we look for, that passion, that love, and understanding that, yeah, not every job is the same. Some will be harder, and but there are some that will be amazing. So you just got to be ready for both sides of that. And no matter what the job is, just give it all. So I don't know. That's a little bit of, it sounds like normal, I guess. But if you have that energy, you're going to do great here at FCB or wherever you go.
That's great. Thank you.
Do we still have time for one more question?
We got one more. Sound good, everybody? Cool. Go ahead, Shamil.
Okay. Yeah. This is a relevant question because I actually have an interview tomorrow, and I'm always a little bit more timid about, like showing off bold creativity. Very shy in terms of like presenting work, and I'm not always really good at like showing off what makes me like specifically unique. Do you have any tips for interviewing and showing off your skills as like a really introverted person that like is more like of a, because I can say I love working in craft, but I'm always a little bit more scared to like share it with people without sounding too bold or like I'm overstepping a bound or something.
I think do what you're doing right now, Shamil. Be you. Tell who you are, what your passions are, share the best work and why you're proud of it. You know what? If they like Shamil, you should work there. If you have to be someone that you're not, then that's not your place. If you feel uncomfortable and you don't feel that you're not you, then no. So just show them who you are, man, and just give it and show what you're passionate about. Share everything and why you switch from engineering to advertising. Those are the things that make you you and will make you special in front of whoever you're meeting tomorrow.
Look, thank you so much. That was like very simply put, but I'm definitely going to use that.
All right.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, AO, for judging. I know it was a lot of work. It means a lot to us and to all the winners. Congratulations to this team, Ella, Maya, True, Shamil. You guys crushed it. I hope that these two parties here, you guys can continue to have conversation. Maybe you could do that second round. I'd be happy to connect you all to get the work and do an even better spot, put it in your portfolio, get hired, break into advertising, and then win your own Cannes Lions in the near future, just like AO does. Cool.
Thank you so
All
much
right.
for having us.
Congratulations again. We'll talk soon.
Thank you.
We'll be waiting for the email, or I'll email you back. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
All right, guys.
Hey, round of applause for everyone.
Thank you, everybody.
Good job. Good job. Thank you, Geno.